Hi class, I hope you guys are all having a great Tuesday. If you guys could all please sit down and write your response to the prompt up on the board, and we'll get started here in a couple minutes. So this week class, we are going to be starting a unit on prohibition. The reason we are looking at prohibition this week is because we want to look at how individuals, people, and groups can change the course of history based on the laws that they influence. Something that we could look at in current day is maybe the Black Lives Matter movement that we have been kind of been seeing all over the news. It's something that where people or groups stand up for a cause and they want to see change and make it happen through their protest or whatever it may be. So that's some things that we're going to be looking at today, is how people and individuals stand up for something either in protest or in our government, and how laws can change. So today we're going to focus mainly on the events leading up to Prohibition. We're going to look at how those events affected society moving forward. As you can see, the learning goals up on the whiteboard, and so if you guys could please take out your notebooks and write that down, and we'll get this started. So we're going to start off by reviewing what an amendment is. Can anybody tell me what an amendment is? Yes, Josh. Right, amendment changes something. Can anybody tell me in the context of maybe the U.S. government what an amendment is? Tyler? Yes, an amendment changes our Constitution, right? And so those are big deals because our Constitution was decided on a long time ago, and it's not an easy process to do. Can anybody tell me what that process is for making an amendment? Anyone? Actually, yes. Yes, that is absolutely correct. If you could you actually repeat that so everybody could write that down? That would be awesome. Thank you, Ashley. Okay, so we're going to start off with this worksheet here. This worksheet you guys are going to be keeping for the whole unit, so please do not lose it. I'm actually going to have you turn this in at the end of the day today. So here's this. Thank you. I have an extra copy if anyone needs it, if I missed anyone. So on your worksheet, you can see that there is a timeline, and there's multiple blanks along this whole timeline. As you can see, there's 3 blank spots before we hit the big prohibition that's in bold letters in the timeline. So to go back a little bit, can anybody tell me what prohibition is? Does anybody know? Susie? Yes, prohibition is the ban of alcohol. Can anybody tell me maybe how that came about? Does anybody know? Just see what you guys know so far. Yes, the 18th Amendment. So that is what prohibition is. The 18th Amendment, as we kind of talked about, is a change to the Constitution. So the 18th Amendment banned alcohol in the U.S. for a good amount of years, 11 years. So we are going to look at today on this timeline and in a couple of videos and in where I tell you guys that about who affected this this ban on alcohol. So we're going to start by watching this video. If you guys could take notes on this video, and then we're going to turn and talk to our neighbors after it's done. So check this out. All right, class. So as you can see by the video, we learned about the Anti-Saloon League. Can you guys please write down on your timeline worksheet the Anti-Saloon League and the first blank, write down a couple facts about what you guys learned, and then after you're done, please turn to your neighbor and share those facts, and then when the room's quiet, we'll move on. All right, can anybody tell me one fact that they learned from the video? Yes, the Anti-Saloon League was a group of men and women who wanted the ban on alcohol, and their group is what started this whole movement on the ban of alcohol. It's great. Okay, so the next thing we are going to learn about is the Women's Christian Temperance Movement. The Women's Christian Temperance Movement was a group of women who were Christians who saw the effects of alcohol on people, mainly their husbands. They saw that their husbands were going to work and then immediately going to bars or whatever and consuming tons and tons of alcohol, and then coming home and just being blobs. They just were not worthless until they get up in the morning and go back to work the next day and do the same thing. So the Women's Christian Temperance Movement was a group of women who protested in the streets. Very peaceful event, yet many people saw it as not a peaceful event. I know that fire trucks would come, not the same kind of fire trucks that we have today, but would spray these women down because they were protesting in the streets. And one main woman that came out of this group her name was Carrie Nation. She is famous for having an axe, and she would go to different saloons and just start smashing tables and bars with her axe, and so pretty crazy. So if you guys could please write that down on the next blank, is the Women's Christian Temperance Movement, and write down a couple facts about what influence they had. Yes, Timmy, you can walk around the back of the room right now if you need. Thank you. Awesome. So the last thing that we're going to talk about today, the last main point, is about a man named Wayne Wheeler. Wayne Wheeler was a politician, and he was more in the inner circle of government and had more effect in the government side of things. So trying to convince people to pass this amendment, trying to convince people to just have a negative view on alcohol. He pushed a lot of the propaganda that was circulating in the time, and so he was on the inside of the government, while the Anti-Saloon League and the Women's Christian Temperance Movement were more outside the government, trying to influence the people. So you can see the kind of difference there. Remember that all of these groups and individuals are fighting for the same thing. They're fighting for the ban on alcohol because they're seeing the, I want to say corruption, but the influence, the negative influence that it's having on mainly men. So if you guys could write down Wayne Wheeler and a couple facts about him, and that would be awesome. So is there any clarification that is needed for today's lesson? Is anybody confused about anything? Reese, yes? Is there a question? Yes, the Anti-Saloon League was the first blank, and it was the first major group to start fighting for this? That's a great question. Awesome. Well, if there's no more clarification, then we're going to wrap this up here for today. If you guys could please turn your worksheets in to me at the door, that would be awesome. And, oh, yep, there's the bell. So you guys are dismissed, and I will see you tomorrow, and we will be talking about the effects, or we are going to be talking about the 18th Amendment. We're going to be getting a copy of the 18th Amendment and annotating it. So, yes, if you guys could turn that in. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you. Have a great day. Ashley, yes, if you need to take that home and finish it, that would be great. And make sure you bring it back and turn it to me tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.